welcome back to the video. This is going to be an interesting one. It's going to be about Teslas. Well, really more about EVs, right? These electric vehicles. And anyway, so I had a conversation with a coworker today. So I pulled up in the parking lot, and this captain gets out of his Tesla, right? And I ask him, how does he like his Tesla? And he begins to tell me, it's fun to drive, And I was like, well, how do you like the range? Charging and whatnot. He goes, well, to be honest, I live an hour away. So he's telling me he lives an hour away. So it's an hour to work, an hour back. And he tells me that because he lives in an apartment, he doesn't have one of those at-home chargers for the Tesla. So he has to charge up at a one of those DC fast chargers or Tesla supercharger stations, whatever. He spends about an hour or two a day charging after work. So then he proceeds to tell me that he charges his car every day. In order for him to have enough range, I thought these things had enough range, right? Guess not over time, right? He has to charge his car every day in order to have enough juice to make it to work and back the next day. He then tells me that, yeah, it only costs $15 to charge, right? I spend an hour or two at the charging station every day after work. I spend about $15 worth of charging, to only get like maybe 15 miles worth of range. I mean, I'm exaggerating here, but you spend all that time and you barely get any range out of your vehicle, right? That's the reality with these EVs. But anyways, then he proceeds to tell me that because he has to charge his car every day, and he thought, well, that doesn't, $15 to charge, that doesn't seem like a lot. But because he charges every day, in order to have his car working every day to get to work, he says per month, he spends over $400 in fuel. Or, I'm sorry, charging. $400. Over $400 a month to charge his EV. I said, well, you know what? At that price, you could have just bought a Honda Civic, and you'd probably pay less than $400 a month. You'd probably spend a lot less in fuel costs if you would have just bought like a Honda Civic that gets like a bajillion miles to the gallon, right? Like, come on. I told him that I proceeded to tell him about my 21 Ram, and one time I drove from Oklahoma City all the way to Lexington, South Carolina, and I drove 1,040 miles on one tank. Like one tank, and only spent like 5 minutes fueling up when I was done. Spent $250 some dollars, I think. I don't remember what it cost me, but it was a lot, but it wasn't no $400, charge bill. So then he begins to tell me that he actually regrets buying the Tesla. He said at first these Teslas were fun and it was the hot new thing, but the reality of owning one of these EVs, it's not worth it. He would spend less money if he would have bought a Honda Civic or one of those high mileage, tiny cars. Then he would spend way less in fuel per month than he would his Tesla. And then I asked him, well, why don't you trade it? Get rid of it. He goes, I can't, because the value of his Tesla dropped like 20,000. So he would, well, that's the reality of vehicles. You're going to lose money unless you drive vehicles like I do that are worth money, like trucks, right? They're worth money. I got 30,000 over on my 2020 Ford F-250. I got 30,000 more what I owed. You're not going to get that with any of these little cars, especially not with a Tesla. But yeah, he regrets ever buying. Now, he told me that he did at one point have one of these fuel-efficient vehicles, right? Something about an accident and whatever, that he just wanted to try something new, and then boom, he got a Tesla. And he regrets it. He said at first it was fun, but he regrets it now. A hot new thing, right? EVs, what a joke. It's a fad. What a joke. Anyways, I just thought I'd share that little story. Might have been kind of all over the place, but yeah. Look, EVs are a joke. It's a fad. This is not And then I also told him like, yeah, you enjoy your, the where these batteries come from, child labor from Africa, India, whatever, right? You can, sure, have fun with that. But yeah. So, anyways, I thought I'd share that, and again, my stance, on EVs. I mean, look, if they made an EV truck that can get over, and actually can get 1,000 miles of range, because I can get 1,000 miles of range on my truck, and only take 5 minutes to charge from 0 to 100, not 0 to 5%. Um, 0 to 100 charge in under 5 minutes. Batteries that won't explode because batteries get hot. Batteries that won't degrade. Batteries that the charge won't, during cold winter months. The batteries, the charge. I mean, it sucks the life out of these batteries, right? Something that can actually hold a charge. Then maybe I might think about it. But right now, no. EVs are a fad. EVs are a joke. If you're thinking about getting one, like if you live in the city and you have a house, maybe on the outskirts of cities, but you work in the city, whatever, right? And your drive to work is like 5 minutes, and you have a at-home charger that you can charge your vehicle, then sure, EV is probably right up your alley. But for any real world application where you actually have to go places that may take distances, and you don't have time to spend an hour, 2 hours just to get 10 miles worth of range, um, an EV is not for you. Like, what a joke. Anyways, I'm done with my rant. EVs are a joke.